Day 1 of the NBA playoffs is officially wrapped up with a 4-game slate on ESPN, starting with the Cavs and Magic facing off to tip off the NBA playoffs. And this was a matchup of just heavyweight defenses going against each other. Orlando with Jonathan Isaac, Paolo, Jalen Suggs, all these guys that are just really good defenders, and of course the Cavs with Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, Isaac Okoro, all these really good defenders. It was just a very defensive heavy game, but in the playoffs, when you're gonna need to make shots, you need that bucket getter, and the Cavs got that with Donovan Mitchell putting up 30 points today on really good efficiency, breaking that cold streak he ended the regular season on, showing that he is a playoff riser. And Paolo in his first playoff game in his career wasn't awful, but also wasn't great, but offensively he really was the only source of bucket getting for the Orlando Magic. So that's something they got to work on in this series. They got to find another option offensively other than Paolo that can be consistent throughout the game, or even just have sparks throughout the game. Paolo in that second half was really the only guy that was getting buckets, and that's a main reason why that the Magic never even had a lead this game. The big man for Cleveland was phenomenal. Mobley offensively came up big this game, even hitting a couple threes, and Jared Allen showing why he is one of the most underrated bigs in the league. 16 points and 18 rebounds. Just dominant performance out there. And Orlando's a relatively small team. Their only like true big is kind of Wendell, and they only really use him to spot up because he can't shoot the three. So they gotta find a way to combat this big size. This game also got a little heated at times, which is kind of fun. The Cavs arena was booing Mo Wagner because, you know, he was playing really physical this game, but it was fun to watch. With game 1 setting the tone of a little bit of a, you know, heated battle going on of two defenses that play very physical. This might be a very scrappy series that's gonna be fun to watch. But the Cavs take a 1-0 series lead defending home court, and the Magic gotta figure out a way to have consistent offense and also combat that big man play in Cleveland. Now the second game of the day was the Wolves versus the Suns, which is a matchup that was intriguing ever since it was confirmed that these two teams were going to match up with each other. And this game did not disappoint, with Anthony Edwards turning up in this game. 33 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, shot 58% from the field, and scored 18 points himself in the third quarter. He was excellent out there, reading the double teams perfectly and was passing out of them, leading to good looks and hockey assists. Talking trash to KD at one point, letting him know this is his time, this is his moment, and KD just had to smile at that. That was just a really cool interaction. Probably the thumbnail of the video, really. It was just really cool to see that. Just a very harmless rivalry, and a battle between these two stars is going to be fun to watch. And KD himself played very well, putting up 31.7 rebounds and shot 65% from the field. Very efficient game from Kevin Durant. And KD just looked like he turned it up another level this game. I mean, obviously he's played great all season long, but man, KD was unstoppable this game. KD was unreal, but the guys that needed to be better was definitely Devin Booker. He only put up 18 points and shot 31% from the field. Beal was okay today. I think he was pretty decent playmaking wise, but everyone else was pretty bad, including Grayson Allen. Even though he got hurt this game, he was pretty bad when he did play, and everyone else was also. If the Suns want any chance of winning this series against a Wolves team that has weapons everywhere, the other guys outside of Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal have to show up. Booker didn't show up today, which is kind of an anomaly for him. I mean, most of the time he is a playoff riser. He didn't today, but I do expect more from him, especially with Anthony Edwards talking trash and everything. That should fuel a fire underneath Devin Booker. He needs to do way better in game 2 if they want any shot to win. But for the Wolves, Naz Reid and Nickeil Alexander-Walker were difference makers this game. Nickeil Alexander-Walker played incredible defense. Kevin Durant had a great game, but there were moments where Nickeil really did put him on lockdown. And of course, KD's going to get those buckets anyway, but it never really hurts to make those shots tough just to tire him out. And Nickeil did that for sure. And the Wolves just looked under control for most of the game. Maybe not the first quarter completely, but the second quarter or not, it just looked like the Wolves were under control of this game, dominating the glass as well with the big man play of Cat and Gobert. They were dominating out there. But the Suns were a fairly short team, with Nurkic and Eubanks being the real bigs, and those bigs not really posing a threat to Gobert and Cat. Gobert was great this game as well, getting a ton of boards, playing great defense, showing why he's most likely going to win Defensive Player of the Year, and even having some good defensive plays in the perimeter, which was crazy. And the Suns also did not have very good paint protection, really just allowing anybody to get to the paint and not much discipline down there. Wolves lead 1-0 defending home court thanks to Anthony Edwards, who it's looking like he is Michael Jordan's son. My apologies if y'all hear rain and stuff outside. It's a pretty bad storm going on right now. But the third game of the day is personally my game of the day. It was just pure entertainment and hype and high-level basketball the entire time, which was the Knicks versus the 76ers in MSG. The Knicks were just out hustling the Sixers this game, with everybody, literally everybody, contributing in some way. And the Sixers dealing with that Embiid injury in the second quarter, it just did not look good when he was off the floor in general. And the Knicks just had people show up like Deuce McBride, Mitchell Robinson, Bojan Bogdanovic, Josh Hart. Even if they didn't have some crazy stat line, they just hit timely shots, hustled probably, especially Josh Hart, Mitchell Robinson, and all those guys. They were just hustling for the ball, and they just played hard. Jalen Brunson didn't even have that good of a game. I think he shot around 30% from the field. Maxey, Lowry, Oubre were all playing really good defense on Jalen Brunson this game. And the Knicks still won, which is scary for everybody else in the league. The main thing that was scary about the Knicks going into the playoffs was they have no Randall, so they don't really have a secondary scorer to lay off some pressure off Jalen Brunson. But this game, Jalen Brunson didn't have that good of a game, and they still were able to win against the 76ers with Joel Embiid. And with guys like Josh Hart, who played incredible, putting up 22 and 13, and played 41 minutes. That was just unbelievable. He was definitely the MVP of this game, and just non-stop hustled for the ball and just got offensive rebounds, poked balls free, got a bunch of loose balls. Like, it was just unbelievable hustle from Josh Hart. And towards the end of the game, when they needed it most, the Knicks started actually hitting their threes and jump shots, shooting themselves out of the zone of the 76ers that was hurting them for most of the game. And then they started hitting them threes, and it was good night for the 76ers. The Knicks also got 23 offensive rebounds this game, which is just insane. The big man Isaiah Hartenstein and Mitchell Robinson played incredible, especially Mitchell Robinson. There was a point in the second half where he was just locking down Embiid. Embiid shot a combined 2 for 11 in the second half. Yes, it was after the injury. He did not look the same, but you also got to give credit to that Knicks defense. Mitchell Robinson was giving his all out there. But for the Sixers, though, you got to give credit. Tyrese Maxey was the steady offensive player out there that they needed. Whenever the Knicks were making a run and the 76ers needed something, Tyrese Maxey blew by somebody and got to the rim and hit a reverse layup or a Euro step layup. Maxey put up 33 points on 54% from the field and was just the absolute X factor for the 76ers to be even involved in this game in the second half. That Embiid injury did look scary when it happened, but luckily he was able to come back onto the court in the second half. But like I said, he did not look himself, and they got to turn around and play Monday again against this tough defense. It's not looking great for the 76ers. They just had good games from Tyrese Maxey, Kyle Lowry, and a couple other guys, and they still weren't able to win. And Embiid still put up 29 points or 28 points, one of the two. This series, if Embiid does come back a little better, will be amazing, though. This game was incredible to watch. Just back and forth stuff. Even a little bit of heated stuff going on when the crowd was chanting something towards Joel Embiid. You can look that up online if you want to know. After he pushed Jalen Brunson down after a hard foul. The Knicks lead 1-0 to start this series off. Hopefully this series goes to 7 and Embiid stays healthy. This series will be amazing. Moving on to the last game of the night, which was the Nuggets versus the Lakers in Denver. A very hyped up matchup. People thinking the Lakers are going to get their revenge from last season when the Nuggets swept them in the conference finals. And this game showed the real difference in why there are levels to this when it comes to competing in the playoffs. The Lakers just do not have the personnel to make deep runs in the playoffs. I'm sorry to all the Lakers fans out there. I know you got LeBron, I know you got Anthony Davis, but everybody else is just not at the level you need them to be to make a playoff run. D'Angelo Russell was really bad this game. I think he shot 1 for 9 from 3, and 6 for 20 from the field. Anthony Davis was great this game, which is kind of even more worrying because they lost this game with a great Anthony Davis game. LeBron played good enough, but we needed more from him definitely in that fourth quarter. He only shot 2 times in the fourth quarter while playing 9 minutes in that quarter. But Anthony Davis was great this game. I will give him credit. Even in the fourth quarter, he was actually one of their only reliable offensive players in that fourth quarter and in the second half in general, putting up 32 points, 14 rebounds, 5 assists, and 4 blocks this game against the Nuggets, and really was their only steady piece offensively. When the Lakers needed a bucket, Anthony Davis did go out there and get it, but like everybody else was just really bad for this team. And if the Lakers want a deep run, they've got to surround LeBron and Anthony Davis with better players. Like, these guys are not going to cut it. Austin Reeves, I'm not gonna lie, it didn't even really seem like he was out there on the court. Like, he hit maybe 2 shots that I remember. D'Lo was awful, like I said. At one point, Jackson Hayes was getting playoff minutes. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I get what these Lakers fans are saying with Darvin Ham. I really don't know exactly what he's doing out there. Jackson Hayes was actually getting minutes in the playoffs versus second seed Nuggets. And out of timeouts, when I just look and see what the Lakers do out of a timeout, it's really nothing. Like, I don't know if Darvin Ham really runs really good plays or has good plays to run out of timeouts. But instead of talking about the losers of this game, we got to talk about the Nuggets. Like, this is a perfect example of why Nikola Jokic is genuinely one of the best offensive players we have ever seen. Jokic put up 32, 12, 7, 65% from the field, and 0 turnovers. And you know Nikola Jokic always has that ball in his hands. 0 turnovers is crazy. He is the epitome of efficient basketball. And for some reason, the defensive scheme for the Lakers was to put LeBron on Jokic and have Anthony Davis help off of that. You're basically giving Nikola Jokic his ability to just back down LeBron and get into the paint. And once you get him into the paint, it's not like Anthony Davis is going to come out of nowhere and block it. Nikola Jokic is a maestro at getting his hook shots above all shot blockers. So I'm not really sure where that defensive scheme is coming from. Probably Darvin Ham. And it doesn't look like it's going to work, so they probably got to switch it up already. And everybody else was amazing for the Denver Nuggets. Maybe not even Murray. Murray had a, rough game today. Didn't really shoot that well. It was around 35%, I think, from the field. But everyone else was just incredible. KCP, Michael Porter Jr., Gordon, even DeAndre Jordan at times in his limited amount of play. Just doing the little things. Just making winning plays, things that the Lakers role players really do need to learn from. The Nuggets lead 1-0 to start off this series, in a series that the Lakers are looking for revenge, but it's going to be a tough road there because the Nuggets, they pulled a win off with Jamal Murray not having that great of a game, and LeBron and Anthony Davis combined for over 50 points, and the Nuggets still won over that. So yeah, something's got to change in LA because the Denver Nuggets are really just owning them and have owned them for a while now. So it's getting bad over there in LA. Something's got to change before game 2 because game 1, that was really bad, especially in the second half, because the first half it was pretty close, but then the Denver Nuggets just owned the Lakers after the third quarter, or in the middle of the third quarter and on. So that's a quick recap in my opinions on today's game and the tip-off of the NBA playoffs of 2024. Very interesting games. Tomorrow's going to be another quadruple header, which should be fun, even though I don't know if those matchups are much better than today's. I think today's were a little bit better, but we'll see how the games go. And if you like this video, hit the like button down below, subscribe button, notification bell, and let me know what you think about today's games, what you think I missed, or your thoughts on the things I said. Let me know in the comments below, and I'll be making formatted videos like this, hopefully, after every single day of playoff basketball. Just a recap and my opinions on it. And make sure to turn those notifications on so you're notified as soon as I drop them, because they might be kind of late or early in the morning, depending on how I feel. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.